Let's see how popular this topic can be. If not, it seems that we're going to have a one-on-one swing. There you go.
Congratulations, Biodome 5 and on your stage.
Wait for mine. I'm having trouble deciding between pudding and jello. But I know the visual one, but does the pudding skim? Plus, it's good fun jiggling jello.
Hello, everyone. Remember that your microphone is on, so remember to mute yourself. No need to have your cameras on. It's good. The idea of this class is just to remember and visualize again our patterns and how do we draw those trend lines and try to search for those patterns on our everyday charts. Once you get very comfortable with it, it's kind of automatic. Every time that you're watching a chart, you're just expecting to do one or the other one. So I just wanted to go a little bit through the classic charts and go through today price action and see how we had different of those charts appearing in some of our price action and common names today. So how was everyone trade today? How do you find the price action today to be? Do you find it to be really complicated, or were you able to trade green and find some good setups today? ENPH puts, what a paid on trade, yeah. ENPH had a nice rejection at 130 and then it went all the way down 123, 122. Not a name that I liked. Tough day, but I saw some setups I didn't take. Did you trade any setups, Kevin? Yeah, that's pretty common. You're not the only one. I don't like to trade puts much. I don't know why. I think it's psychological. Every time that you see those setups that they look amazing on the way down, I don't take as much advantage of the puts as I do when I trade calls. It's harder for me to get into heavier positions when I trade on the downside and when I trade on the upside. I'm a bear. What's that for? The negative minus 2, then negative 200, then back to 500 positive for a day. Hello, Walter.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good. No worries. I'm just telling you that you don't need to have the cameras on.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No need to be sorry. Just, it's easier for everyone. You can be laying down, eating, doing whatever, but cameras are not necessary. It's always nice to see who you're talking with, but we should do an open session with the teachers one day with the analysts, and you can get to meet them. Who are the analysts? That will be fun. Nobody knows each other by face, I think, here. So Kevin, you were up 580, then negative 200. How do you lose 600 bucks and then went back to 500? What were you trading? Good job, Husky. Good job. I'm gonna start at 805, 8 picks in queue. Huh, that's why. Yeah. Okay. That's very volatile. Yeah, I don't mess around with those. I rather do my classic names and stocks. So let's see. If you hear any noises, I'm here with my puppy. She's listening to the lecture today, so excellent puts. Swing XOM. Huh. So you're expecting a swing a rejection out of on 119 and go back down? 3 weeks. Yeah, AMD, I think that's a smart call, Kevin. If AMD is going to be a sympathy play out of NVIDIA, whatever it's going to happen, I think the whole market is expecting that the thing is going to go up, but you never know. But probably the easiest prediction is that it's just going to go up. All right, swing. I'm gonna take a look at that XOM tomorrow morning. I'm following it. I'm watching the chart right now. So let's get started, guys, at 8:05 o'clock. I don't want to be, waiting for too much people. Like whoever wants to go into these sessions, we're here, and the idea, as I said, it's try to see how the classic patterns that we are taught, or what you can find in every literature about, classic patterns. Just go through a quick review, and then try to see how do we find them on our everyday trades. And for me personally, I find it to be a lot easier when I'm able to draw patterns and try to see the breakups or breakdowns, instead of trying to see just about the if I just see the level 2 and the price action or anything like that. Like I'm, as I always said, I'm very visual, and I like to see when where that break is happening. And I think Dirty River also, when you see his trades and his charts, he always waits for a certain amount of candles to develop, and then once they are out and you're able to draw the pattern, then you just wait for that, break and retest in either way, and just make it a lot easier. So let's start with this trading patterns. Just some basic stuff. Why do we use the patterns? It's just a visual help on our technical analysis that help us see the movements when we predict the moves. So it's just a visual help to use it. Which are the most common types of patterns? Well, we have the reversal patterns, we have the continuation patterns, and we have the bilateral patterns. The reliability, are they, foolproof completely? No. Like everything on trading, nothing is foolproof. Nothing. We might think that we know everything, and then all of a sudden a news hit and the thing goes sideways. So if you've been trading for a couple of years or more, you will learn that you have to be ready for the unknown. That's how trading is. And what they help is with the probability of making profitable trades. So it's just an educated guess, as we all know. So I'm not gonna beat too much around the bush here. I'm just gonna go through some of these patterns, and you all know them. We all see them, and probably the most fun is gonna go to try to look for them in our today trades. So I encourage you to share, like if you have any trouble today with any names, let's jump into it and see what happened, why the trade went wrong, and try to see if we find any patterns that would have helped us try to trade a little bit easier today. So we got, first of all, our reversal patterns. Those indicate that there's an existing trend and it's about to change direction. The most common one is head and shoulders. I went for, look at how many we can see here on a different, what I like about, I asked AI to draw this chart. And what's interesting here, look how you can see head and shoulders on the way up, on the way down, on the way down, on the way up, on the way down. This is a chart of charts of multiple head and shoulders. I think this is insane. It was drawn by AI, and I love it. I think it's gonna help you out to see like how the difference on the time frame that we use is gonna give you a different perspective. Like if you were not really looking at this, you would have thought that it was just a reversal head and shoulder. But if you see, the little heads, head and shoulder, head and shoulder, head and shoulder, head and shoulder, and then we have a huge inverse head and shoulder. So it's very, very interesting to see how we need to be aware on and move around our time frames to be able to visualize these patterns. So what's key about the head and shoulders is like normally we have three peaks. One is the higher one, which is known as the head. And then we have it's flanked by two of lower peaks that it's known by the shoulders. So if we have this inverse head and shoulders, this will be the head, and these could be shoulders, these could be the shoulders, these could be the shoulders. So this has multiple shoulders inversely, but if you see this peak here, like you see that this is a shoulder, this is a shoulder, and we have the head here, or we have some narrower shoulders here. This it's one of the most common patterns that we always look at, and most commonly on the bigger time frames. But we find them in every time frame, and I think this chart is a very nice representation of that. So what does a head and shoulder tell us when we see one or we try to visualize one? It indicates that there is a trend reversal from whatever it doesn't need to be from bullish to bearish, but it's going to depend on if it's an inverse one or if it's just a straight head and shoulder. So we will look for this on some examples today on the real price action. Another reversal patterns that we see, that we have the double top and we have the double bottom. These are very, very like every day we see where we try to find. Yes, DJ, this is all the classes, all the lectures are recorded and you can see them 2 days after. Where the head of the stock will be. Is it just experience or do you have a now? No, this it's Walter, we just see it. I will go through some examples that we try to find, and you will see that you get your eyes sort of trained to look for the patterns and just try not to just look weeks, but when you move around the different time frames, you will see these patterns appear in your eyes. So it's really kind of getting used to it. Calls for this week, can we please review this? Yeah, we'll go through those after we finish all the concepts. So reversal patterns, we have the double top, very easy to spot. Double top, normally we go to a certain rejection, we go lower, and when we bounce and then we reject it, we go to reject the same level or kind of the same level twice. So this is called as a double top. It's signaling that there is just a reversal. It doesn't need to be a bearish reversal. We can find the the double bottom will be the sort of bullish counterpart of the double top. So it will be exactly the same, but we will see a nice and beautiful test. We go retest, and from there we jump. So these are the type of trades that I love to trade because it's very reliable. It doesn't mean that it has to happen. It doesn't mean that it has to happen, but these are the type of risks that we take when we see these moves, and when we see it twice or three times happening, we just kind of suppose that this is going to be the reversal, and that's where we try to get a trade, and then we just set up our stop loss, and we will see and we'll look for this on today's price action. Then we have some continuation patterns. So remember, these are reversal patterns. We have some continuation patterns. Reversal patterns completely change on direction. Then continuation patterns is just a sort of move. We have a consolidation and then another move, either up or down. So they suggest that the current trend will continue after a consolidation period. So, and we'll see how we use and how I use different indicators to see where these consolidations happen and how we can spot where another push or another flush can come. A double top doesn't become a triple top or same for bottom. We don't know. We don't know. Like what we do is we expect the price action to happen. And if we see that it start to happen, this is where I was expecting the risk. VKP is asking like, how do we know if it's a double top or a triple top? We don't know. What we just have to wait for the price action. So if you if you just jump into your double top and you see that we come back, you just know where to set up your stop loss. And if you see that it's flagging again from the same spot, I just go again and try it again. I mean, sometimes you have to, if you have a specific bounce spot or you have a specific support spot, that doesn't mean that if it failed once, it's gonna fail all the time. It can fail once, and then you can just you can try it again, and then just be stopped out and try it again. And we did it today with Apple. Apple stopped me out today on a little rejection, and I went back in because I really believed that there was a specific pattern going on, and that's why I went in again. And we will see where this happened and why this happened, following sort of these different patterns of today. Then I took this from TrendSpider, so we see I didn't want to go through all of them when I have a nice chart like this. So we'll see how we have a bullish flag. So flags are the sort of the most common ones. They are called in different ways, but these are the flags. We'll see that our bullish flag. Normally we see a continuation. We see a little pullback, people taking profits, and then it's kind of this is the consolidation period, and then we got the squeeze again. We have the bullish wedge on the flag. Then we go up. We kind of go a little flatter on the bottom. We kind of lower down on the top, and then we break. The pennant, kind of, you see, very easy to spot, but sometimes we see them here, and it's a little bit, some people have a hard time wanting to see where they're gonna happen on the charts. We will look for those in the price action, and we'll see. The idea is to train your eyes just to draw, and what I do is I just literally just draw the trend lines, and it makes it a lot easier. So we have the bearish, and bullish. So we have the bearish and bullish pennant. We have the wedge and the up and down, and then we have the flag. So it's really nice to see and visualize this. Then we have more continuation patterns that they all look sort of the same. The triangle, the difference that we have on the ascending or descending triangle is normally one side it's going to be decreasing, and it's going to be a flat spot at the top, and then the other one in here it's we'll see the descending triangle sort of descending towards a straight line, and then from there we break. And it makes a difference on the kind of triangles that have a equivalent sort of inclination. This is just like flat spots, and we'll see these normally when our price levels, we're hitting a price level that it's a strong rejection, or a price level that it's a strong support, and then after we try 3 times, the 4th time we just break it. And this is where you have to be. You could have maybe think that this was a double bottom. You bought here, and then you just encounter yourself with a rejection down of this pattern, so of this trend line. What do? You get stopped out wherever you have your stop loss set, and then you wait, and you are like, oh, I was wrong. I thought this was a double bottom. It was just a descending triangle. Let me just draw my trend line, be ready, and then once it breaks and retest this level, that's when you jump in. Remember, it needs to break, retest. Why we need to have a retest when these breaks happen? We need to have a retest because we need to see that we're holding what it was. Our previous resistance, it needs to become support, and our previous support needs to become resistance. That's a must all the time. Everything clear until here? Or should we only take the trade after neck break? We'll go through that. VKP, we'll see how it's a little bit of taking the risk on when you start seeing the pattern, because the problem with that, it's like if you wait until the shoulder, it might be too late sometimes. So it depends on the move. Some of them, they'll give you from the shoulder will have the pattern completely along like an arm, sort of speaking, and that's where the trade it's better. But sometimes they have like shorter arms. And the trade, you know, was from the head to the shoulders. So I took from Investopedia. These are our bilateral patterns. This is where I said that we don't have a flat level here, but they're moving also. So this is a symmetrical triangle going on the way up. So the price action is kind of shrinking, sort of squeezing all the way, and then boom, we jumped up. And same here, this is squeezing until we see that it's going to break in either way, and we just wait for that either way to break, a retest, and then that's where we jump in. And this is some sort of the magic of drawing trend lines. And I'll show you my my long-term charts and how do I go into my analysis to see where to enter and what I'm looking for. And you will see how I just draw trend lines all the time. For the ones who have seen my charts already, you see that I always have these lines set in most of my trades. And let's see here. More bilateral, we have the wedges that we saw in the other side. The wedges are a little bit more sort of inclined. They're sometimes when, like today, what happened with I think it was Tesla went straight down, sort of a little push. It wasn't as inclined as this one, it was a little flatter, and then it kept flushing. So we saw a perfect rising wedge. So what happened with the rising wedge is sort of you think that, oh, are we gonna bounce? Are we gonna bounce? No. It's just kind of squeezing to keep going down. And then the falling wedge, the only difference is like here, indeed, we actually bounce. So the easiest way, guys, you don't need to learn the names, you don't need to learn the specifics. You need to be able to see a pattern and try to draw the trend lines and see and wait until it breaks in in a certain way. Not everyone draws the trend lines the same way. Not everyone has the same style, and that's perfectly okay. Everyone has a different visualization of how they like to see their charts, different colors, but this is just a generic sort of help to enter and exit when you're in a position, just in case, because you could have been here in puts and you see this move and you think that we might break, and then when you see a bounce and a reversal, you want to get out somewhere around here. Same with here. If you were trying to buy calls and you see that we're falling, you just want to get out. So it will give you extra information if you are able to draw those trend lines. So common pitfalls that we have using chart patterns. We can see a false breakout. This occurs when the price temporarily moves out of the pattern, but then reverses. What happened? Sometimes we can see this. Maybe we have 2 or 3 candles, and then the candles go back into the trend, and you're like, oh, but I thought this was a rising wedge. And what happened? Nothing. It got invalidated by the price action. And here's where we have to be dynamic and we have to be able to adjust to what the price action is giving us pretty fast. I was talking about this today at Apple that we said, don't get sort of don't get sort of frustrated if we were like if we got stopped out of a play. If we got stopped out, it means that we thought that it was going some way and our emergency brake worked perfectly. And that's what it needs to do. And once you see that your emergency brake or your stop loss worked, then you just go, and the easiest part is like, if we're not going down, we're going up, and vice versa. So if you were wrong here, you just wait a little bit, and then you see that we're coming down, and you just switch your position and start playing the downside. But what you cannot do is try to jump in every movement and every candle, because you're gonna lose. No matter what, you're gonna lose. You need to be able to identify a trend, a direction, and then a trend, and then see where the breakouts are happening. So don't try to overtrade. That's like 95% of everyone does it. And try not to just jump around and follow each candle. Just wait until you see something like a breakout or a breakdown, and then we jump. Norman, what's up, buddy? Welcome. So over reliance, the patterns are not 100% reliable. You have to combine it with our price levels and other price action, and we will go through this using some indicators that I'm gonna go through. And the timing, you gotta be careful not to enter too early or too late, that it can lead to losses. So what's happening here, your timing has to be where it needs to be. You cannot try to enter puts here or calls here. You need to know what's happening or try to be able to identify it and not to go the wrong way. But this happens to all of us. It's normal to be wrong a couple of times, and then most of the traders have, out of, let's say, 5 trades on the day, you might have 1 or 2 red ones, and then you have 3 that are your stronger ones that are green. So, and that's perfectly okay. So give yourselves room to lose and to learn out of those losses, but control losses. And then the strategies are, how do we combine those patterns with our indicators? What are the indicators that are going to help us out? Well, we know that we can use our RSI, we know the MACD, we have the moving averages, and we have the price levels. How do we control the risk? Well, risk, there's only way that it's always going to be setting up stop losses. And all the time, remember, guys, when we are in profits, not like 2% profits, but if we are in profits and if you are in one contract, I'll take it. If you are in multiple, you need to start taking profits at certain level, and you need to know where that level it's going to be as soon as you are clicking you're triggering your call or your put. You need to know what your plan is going to be. I'm going to get calls. I'm going to try to take a 10% here and here, and then move my stop loss, and then grab my profits at this level. You need to set up your plan to be able to protect yourself. And the back testing, you can always go down and go and look at left, as we always say, and look at for patterns and understand how reliable they are. And this will be the same, like we always talk, guys, when we see the levels. Like sometimes there's a lot of people asking, like, Bo, but why you say 215, or why did you say today on Apple, I don't know, 230 or 220? I don't know what the level was today. 226. Why did you say 226? Well, if we just go to the chart and we will go through the chart, I will show you why we said 226. That's a important point of resistance that we had, and we are in a range price action. So that back testing, it's always going to help you to be more confident and to have we need to have some points of guidance on what we're doing. And our guidance here, our reference is the past. And all those price actions, they tend to repeat. So here's the definition part, and then we're going to go to the fun part in the charts. Any questions?
Yo, Empanada, so for example, like today's price action on the Qs, like you never buy puts at the bottom, correct? Like when we had a down, like a big momentum move to the downside, you pretty
No,
much buy
but
calls,
that's,
right?
yeah, like, can you see my chart here now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. Let's go to the Qs.
Yeah, I was scalping the Qs all day. I traded it both ways, towards the downside, and then I bought calls too. So I did a Hail Mary. I lost on that one, but I trade the Qs every day. That's what I day trade.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Like that's like, I trade SPY every day, most of days, like a little here and there scalp, or sometimes I will buy a call depending on the move, or a put and just let it run, just a tiny one. And it keeps me kind of like seeing what happened. But what's going to happen here? Look, if normal, how do I use these trend lines on these patterns? Look at this. This is my 4 hour right now on the Qs. Simple. And what am I looking at? Look at this. It doesn't need to be, we don't need to do all the triangles and everything, but look at how I just want to see where a change of a trend line happens. Here we broke up, and now we are kind of doing a flat sort of, we can call it a little flag here. If I go to the 1 hour, what happened here? You see how, look at all my trend lines. Trend line broke, trend line broke, trend line broke down. Probably need to put a trend line here that it broke down. This is how I sort of
Q's 490 or what?
what for now? No, here is 485.78. You see, 485, and now they are at 474. I don't know where they are right now because this is not 24 hours, but if I go here, see, I just want to open this visually a little more in the 1 hour, and you see how I just wanted to, like yesterday on Thursday, I just wanted to see where we rate compared with our levels. Why this level? Well, we find resistance, resistance, resistance. What happened here? We broke below that, and look at what happened on Friday. Where do we bounce on Friday? And look at how important this is. You see where do we reject it? We rejected here, went up, up, tried to stay above, couldn't. We bounce here, went up, and where we rejected? Same level that we rejected here, here, here. So why do I want to use my patterns? I want to know, are we going to keep going up? No, we didn't. We stay here. We went up. No, we went up in this one and then break down. So I draw patterns from one day to the other one. Like I could have do something like this here for today and try to look here, or try to look from here to overnight low like this. And here's where you start watching your, you get, you can look a little messy, but when you start, visualizing like this is up, and you just wait for these breaks to happen, and then you can do little triangles. Like I can do something like this to here, then here to here, and I'm just waiting to see where the price action is going to go. So if I go to the 5 minutes, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a break of this price action. So if it breaks up and stay up and it's above this level, I'm going to expect SPY that it's going to go back to 478 tomorrow, and we're going to feel sort of this gap again.
Yeah,
If-
that gap. I was watching that gap, bro. The main psychological level I was looking on the Qs was 474 flat, and then 473.5.
Well,
And
it got,
it kept on getting bought. It bought up right there. Like it
Yeah,
kept
look.
every time it hit, those buyers stepped in.
Yeah, we got 474, and then look at this resistance, 1, 2, 3 on this pattern, and either we go and touch it again and break down, or we're going to use it as a support, and then from there we're going to try to find our spot back up. So this is, you can call this a, I don't know, a symmetrical triangle, a asymmetrical triangle. I don't really need to know exactly, but you need to know how to visualize it. That's, for me, it's more, if you call it a rising wedge or you call it a falling wedge, it's good that we know, this is a symmetrical triangle, but what I care is I can see this with my eyes fairly clearly when I don't see only like the pattern going down, and this is what I'm looking at. And if I go to Tesla, for example, do you see all these lines going around? Well, in the short term, they don't make sense. But if I go to the 4 hours, look at this trend that I have here. Coming from here. So this was a pattern that we went up, touched down, and look, we touched down, touch here, and look what I got here this day. Let's see if I can find it. Look at this day here. I know, sorry that it looks a little messy because it's I think I can see it, but look at how I draw all these. Look at it. This is my trading. I was looking for this, it break up, and look at the triangle that I draw. Try to look for another breakup, and this breakup was key. Why? Because this breakup was the breaking the pattern, sort of this pennant here, on the way up above and retested out my bigger and stronger trend line. So this was a change of direction for the first time on Tesla. And look at that change of direction. Look at that thing, how it went up. So why do I like about this? Look, this is telling me the direction, and then all of a sudden, here I have spotted
That's
my,
what I want to see for the cues right there.
yeah, like this. And then look at this. We went up, all the way up. Look at another triangle here, another explosion up, another triangle. And then look how I start going the other way around. Oh, sorry about that. Auto. And look at how here, how I started to draw these lines, because now, oh, we changed we got a sort of double top, or we have this huge rejection here. And then my lines started just going on the other way. And once I have a couple of references, I was able to draw a trend line on the way down. And then what happened again? We held the 100 daily SMA. And now we have another change of direction here, and we're holding just above. If you see the 1 hour, that I know could be a little tricky, all these lines, we're holding above the 20 daily SMA right here. You see these lines here, the blue ones? Look at how we're holding the 20 daily SMA, and we're trying to hold there today, and Friday and Thursday we kind of broke, but we're trying to hold there. So if we hold above here tomorrow, I'm confident that we might go back to the 50 daily SMA. But look at how my trend lines cross. And these could be patterns. This could be I can divide this. This is a triangle here, an inverse triangle. This is a triangle here, if you want to call it that way. And you see how all of this is just helping me decide if this is breaking down. I'm not grabbing calls here. No way I'm grabbing calls unless I see a break of any of these patterns. So sometimes when you hear me, I'm not like today, I think it was Apple. Let me go to Apple. And I was telling, like, I'm not ready to grab calls. Why? Because I didn't have any patterns here. What I had is I have a range. So if I have a range of price action, which is this, I cannot grab anything in between this. I either take it here and we grab the calls right here, or I need to take it on top of this. So we have a breakup, or we have a rejection, like 1, 2, 3 rejections out of this spot. So when I was in voice chat, what did I call? I call calls at the rejection of 224.5, and that's on my tab. And then if we break 226.82, that was in the morning, and hold 226.82, we might see a breakup to 228. But you see how it's all about doing these trends and patterns that we are looking at. So look at how look at this is a perfect symmetric triangle. Look at this triangle that I draw here, just looking to see where we were going to break. And it went straight forward, and then my other indicators on how I help myself knowing which direction should I choose, I got my 50 daily SMA, and the price action is not only holding above it, but it's holding also my 215.52 level. So I got my level, it's breaking a triangle, it's holding above a indicator, and I have a squeeze opening up on my TTM squeeze on the way up. So you see how many indicators and things you can use. And if I go here and I go to the 30 minutes with my Bollinger Bands for that same sort of reaction, look at here, look at what we had here, and we touched the Bollinger Band here. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour, which looks a little bit better. Look at this beauty. We broke here.
Damn, that looks nice, man.
You see, we got the break, and then from here we got this curve, and we're sort of plateau here. So when we plateau here, what's happening, guys? What is this price action doing right here?
Because it's ready to break up or down.
Yeah, it's squeezing. When
It's
you
it's in a box. I call it box breakout.
Yeah, and no, it's squeezing. When you see, look at how spread out the Bollinger Bands are. Look at this low and look at this up. This is when we have the expansion. When we have the expansion, we have volatility. Volatility gives us the opportunity to trade. when we see that this is squeezing and narrowing the price action, it's in a squeeze. It's accumulating energy that it's gonna be deployed in either up or down. So here's where we need to have our help of some of our indicators telling us what's gonna happen. Are we gonna go up? Are we gonna go down? What's gonna happen? So my
Yo,
MACD,
Empanada, I'm looking at a bullish narrative on Nvidia's earnings. And as a alternative, I'm trying to play Broadcom. I'm looking at the 172s, and I'm trying to get long on those two companies. That one and HWM. It's an aerodynamic company, but it doesn't have as much volume as like an Nvidia or a Microsoft.
I don't know about this one because I've never traded, so I can comment on this name since I haven't traded and I don't know what's happening here. I know that we talk about this because this line was a sort of calculating where the next price action was going to happen since a previous jump that it had before. But if we go to the most known and traded one, like Nvidia, we can know that look at how my Nvidia, that's what I was looking like at my breaks, up, down, and we are where we are right now here. Again, same like Apple. What's happening with the price? Up and down, but it's up and down doing what? It's consolidating. It's expecting to do a move in a certain direction. Why? Well, we have expectations that it's going to do something. So we know that we have a price on top here that we have, visited already. So we can see a 136 as a possible top for if you want to buy some longs. And then we have some rejections and support happening here, 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 and here. You see how these levels, see how all these range of prices from here to here, see how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it might be surprised if we try to go down and hold at 116. No. Why? Well, it's giving me a very clear view if I look, a little out, that this is a strong support area. And what do I want to do? Well, I want to see how I use any of these patterns. So what is this looking like? It's looking like a little flag right here, even though it's straight. This could be a flag. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a little more volatility to see if the flag is going to break up or down, because I don't have a higher or a lower that I can do my trend line completely clear. So if I cannot see where my trend line is going to be clear, I just draw a box like this, and I wait to see where the price action is going to consolidate. I want to see if it's going to consolidate up. I want to see if it's going to consolidate down or what's going to happen.
Yo, one name that we didn't mention on group chat or in trade floor, it was Costco. It hit all-time high today.
Costco is in all-time high today.
Yes, sir.
Let me check 1 second. I was hiding my puppy's bed. That he broke a hole in the bed and he's taking all the inside. What was it? I wasn't watching. Let's see, Costco. No, all-time high, it's 929. So it's not all-time high yet, but it's getting there. And look at this move. Look at on the 4 hours bounce and support out of the 100 daily SMA. We broke the 20 because the 20, when the 20 crosses on top of the 50, we need to see another cross up, and it's happening here. And then this is telling us that there is more upside coming for Costco. So I believe that if we have good earnings like we had on Walmart, we had good earnings on TJ Maxx, and then next ones is Ulta. These retail names might help Costco go a little higher. But then what are the patterns? We're talking about patterns here, right? So how do we look patterns here? Well, I like to see, like, for example, if I go from here to here, and if I go probably from here to here, not a triangle, not a specific, but what am I looking for? Breakups. What happened if I would have know about this price action in the morning on Costco? What do I know in the 15 minutes today? Well, if I see a hole above this level, and if I hold above, and this is always important, guys, the previous day high. Previous day high, it's always a key level of support. Always. It needs to, your price action needs to break that previous price action to be a more reliable long. So look at how, and just by chance, because we're looking this name by chance, look at how beautiful. This is the Friday's highs. And look at this consolidation and support, and this purple line, it's our VWAP. So not only VWAP went above here, but look at the price consolidation above VWAP, and then we touched it one more time and push, and push, and push. This price action, it's a little bit tricky because if you're trying to scalp, what would have happened? You would have probably be out right here, and then try to see if you get another one here, and then try to see if you get another one here. Because, or if you're doing long term, you don't care about this noise, you just care about the trend. Like, you know, it's upward trending, and you keep trying to reach that higher level on the 4 hours, which is your ultimate goal, is to try to reach 912. So, but you see how these patterns work in different price actions and different names. Today, what was the other one that I wanted to show that it broke up? It was T. You see, like, for example, here, look at how I do these little lines here. You see those little lines? That's the inside of the bed. So I draw this until my support level, and look at how the price action is supporting on AT&T, the 20 daily SMA. Look at how it bounces. It's support, and then I do these little trend lines on the 4 hours, because then in the 15 minutes, I'm looking to see and wait to see if we're gonna break up like here. And then if tomorrow I'll see that the price action is gonna hold above this and try to go up, and same on different time frames. So let's see, what other name do we want to see today, guys? What other names do we have today that you wanted to see? FSLR. Yeah, FSLR. It jumped today because we had XLE was going up today. As you can see here, I got my sectors. XLE was the one with the biggest move today, and we were red on. You see how NVIDIA and AMD went red. Then we have all the real estate, and then we have some of the discretionary. It went down, and FSLR went all the way up, bouncing here, and then we went down. What we were expecting here, well, if I'm on the 5 minutes here, I would have tried to see, like, for example, a hold above this, or a hold above this. So you see how can I can do my little, if I want to see my, this could be a, not even a continuation pattern, but it will be a breakup pattern. So this will be like a wedge, sort of a little rising wedge, because we went up. Rising wedge normally changes direction, so up, and then we bounce, rejection, and we come down, and this is a change of direction, as you can see here. And if you, where was it that we had a huge head and shoulder on the 4 hour?
What about Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs? I'm kind of looking at some longs on those names too.
You see, look here, this will be a sort of this could be a shoulder, head, and shoulder. Normally they will come from this side, but if you see like a inverse shoulder, head, and shoulder, this could either go up on there or just reject and come down here. So these are the patterns that we try to identify. I don't know if you can see it, but if you see this, so we're finding we find a rejection out of this point, Northern, and we have to see if we're gonna either go up or down, or it's been really tough. If we break this up, you will gonna see continuation to a, I think, all-time high right now. on Goldman Sachs. And JPM is on a, oh, look at that chart. What a beautiful. Look at that chart, guys, on JPM. This has been on a rip. Look at this. You see? Well, this is nice. Look, 4 hours. We have this could be a flag. We got an up. This is where we are consolidating, and now we're breaking up again. So you can see all of these, like a huge flag, because now we have consolidation, and now we're trying to break up. So what we need to happen to break up? We need to break up above that price action, and then hold and retest probably that 217 and keep going up. But it broke all the 100, the 50, and the 20 daily SMAs, and it's going up. So keep an eye on banks and financials, XLF, and see what they're gonna do with this after what happened with Nvidia and all of that. And then on the bigger time frame, sometimes we can see that this is you can consider this a double bottom or a triple bottom. There are some names where we can see them a little bit clearer. Let me see.
Yeah, there's the ETF I created, Empanada. It's like financials, and I have like BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, Piper Sandler, Charles Schwab, just
What's that one?
financials.
What's the name of that one?
That's financial staples sector.
No, but I'm saying, yeah, that's the XLF. Like if we go to the XLF, this will be all the financials. This will be the how you will see how the old financials are included. And I think, I don't know if in the analyze has it XLF. Here are all the banks that are included on the XLF and the percentage of each of those banks. You have Berkshire Hathaway B, JP Morgan, and all of this. And you can always go through analyze on your TOS, and you can see all this information. It's available for everyone here, guys. If you have any doubt, and look at the move here that it has and everything, you can go through all those sectors. You can see XLE move, and you can see what the XLE is conformed of, and then what the move is, and you can find some information on the profile out of it. So what else do we have here? What other names do we have?
What about the restaurants, bro? I think Cava, you guys did a good hit on that one. I seen I had a nasty drop after. I don't know
Yeah,
why. That was kind of weird.
I don't know what happened because I don't know what happened because Cava shares they just got upgraded to 120, and Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan rose the price to 90. So I don't know why.
I think it was an insider that just dropped his bag because he just made a big ass profit.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah,
that's a big move, bro. That's like $8. That's pretty much back where it was now.
Yeah, it is a big move. So here, for like looking at the trend that we're looking, this will be a double top if you see it on the 1 hour. Double top, sort of resistance at the same level, and rejection. So what are we expecting? What we can see happening here, this could be a head and shoulders, guys. This could be a perfect head and shoulders. We can see a shoulder that's considered all of these ahead, and the shoulders don't need to be completely symmetrical. Doesn't need to be here on the same size. Could be a little higher, could be a little lower. But what it means is we can see a little sort of pullback up, and then another reversal all the way down. And then one of the things that we need to know when we are trading these moves is, like, normally when we have this like aggressive move, normally we have aggressive moves in the other way too. So it's kind of tricky. Let's see XOM. Look at that. What's normally these type of move, guys? What's associated with this pattern?
Fucking ass.
There you go. This is a cup and handle, sort of like it should have a sort of move higher here. This will be a nice cup and handle sort of pattern, and see what a nice recovery. You see how we had, look at this rejection point at 120 with XOM. We went all the way down and look how we recover pretty fast. Why? Well, we have a huge drop down here and then we're recovering. Normally, this is, when we see these sudden moves, we recover all of those moves back. Try cost, yeah. Let's see if XOM keeps going, swing viral. Car was due to gain popularity in term stock, yeah. F, let's look at Ford. What's happening in Ford? Ford in the short term, if I go to the 15 minutes, it's holding. This is what I'll do in Ford. I need to see where this break is gonna come. And then in the longer term,
Yo, Empanada, after Ford, you think you could check TTWO? It's a software company.
yeah, of course. This is tricky here. Look at, you see, I believe Ford is, it should go up after 11.3. It should go up and try to recover around this area above all these EMAs. So we need to wait to have more information on why we went down like this. What's that name, Norman?
It's a TEAM.
Tim?
Yeah, it's that one and then TTWO. Those two, they're kind of catching the eye here at these lows.
I love to do the like this sort of pattern like this. This is what I like the most. I just go to my drawing tools here and I will go to the channel. And from here, what I do is every time that we break up, I know that we're touching a top and try to see when we break. You see how it's been repeating? Top, 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 down, top. And you see, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be close enough. For this, if I will be waiting to see something like this, Norman, on this one. Try to see a breakup somewhere around here. Hold and break up, probably on the next week. Or if we go higher right away until here, because we are finding support above the 20 daily. So if we break the 50 and find support, we might do it on the trend line. And what happened on the trend line here? What are we watching? We're watching a rising wedge. This is sort of a rising wedge. You see? So I might do something like this from here to here and just wait to see where we're gonna break. Are we gonna hold here and try to go back on resistance on the 50 or go up? So the idea, guys, with this lecture is to make you feel more comfortable looking at these, trying to see where you're gonna touch more lines and draw trend lines to see these breakouts. Because when you have these sort of, drawing, it's just easier to see where the price action is and what's happening and where you need to be careful. Or at least it is for me. So I really like doing this. What else are we looking at? Time frames, we'll see different patterns.
Yeah, it was that one and TWO, I believe. It's a software company.
TWO. Two Harbors Investment. This is tricky. Look at this. This is the shoulder, head, and shoulder, but it never sort of moved. It moved. It delayed.
I
for
think it
another...
has two. It has two T's, Empanada. Sorry.
Okay. There you go. TTWO. Sort of the same. What we got here? This is what are we looking here, and then here is doing a perfect bull flag, went up. And
Yeah,
now
that's
it's,
what I kind of want to get from teams. What
so here,
that move.
here you have your top right here. And we're gonna be looking to find, you see how this is sort of the same resistance here? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of in the same, and then we will look for probably this price action here and here. And then we're sort of bull flagging here. Boom, boom, boom.
Is that what you'll call like a bullish momentum call play?
Yep, that's what I will say. I will say that this is, now we need to see that, you know, we need hold until we break this. We break and hold above this price action here. Any of these levels, we need to hold above those previous highs. And when you see those previous high, we might be able to jump to the next level.
Nie masz żadnego żarcia na to 2 dni, tak?
That's kind of like the same setup as Apple, right?
Yeah, it's looking like it. But Apple, it's just a little bit, it did it a little longer, because so this is a range already. And when it start ranging like that, it's squeezing and trying to see where we're gonna go. I don't know what Apple is expecting. It could be that the reaction of the launch, remember, on the 10th, which is very close. It's the launch of the new products that they're gonna see, and they're gonna see how the reaction of the market is depending on this. So I believe, and I will assume, this is why we are trending like that on Apple.
Yeah,
And
Apple. I think when they do their AI update on
on the 9th, they're launching the new iPhone and all that.
only the iPhone 15 Pro Maxes and the iPhone 16s are gonna have the new software AI that Apple has developed.
Yeah, yeah. I think VKP, you asked me if you need to go to different time frames, and then you go to the your bigger time frames are gonna tell you where you are, and then where you trade, it's on in your 5 minutes. And your 5 minutes is what you care to see, just like this, huge. And here's where you're gonna see what's gonna happen. Like, you want to see if you have a break, if you go up. But do you want to see, like, for example, the question is, do you want to grab calls here? So if you are doubting if you need to grab calls on top here, you need to go out and see what's happening at that level. And you're gonna see, like, nah, you know, it maybe looks good, but I have a lot of resistance there, so it might not be optimal to grab calls right there. That's why you move from time frame to time frame. You need to have.
What about
Normally,
Chipotle? We're talking about Chipotle too.
Chipotle, when you see how they have this trend line going, and look at how the trend line it's respecting itself so far. And if I just draw it a little bit higher, I'm gonna see if we're gonna keep respecting this, and then if we're gonna move, see how we hold in the 20 daily SMA, holding, and then I need to see a push, probably go back here and try to see if tomorrow, as of this trend line, tomorrow either we're gonna break down or trend sideways or break up. What is the smart thing to do? Wait until the price action gets here, and you just wait to see what happened. And if you see a hold on top, you just take some calls and see and set up your stop loss. If you see rejection, you just grab puts and, you know, set up your stop loss. That's our 50-50 sort of trades that we take, and then you see, like, where your squeeze is happening and where it's happening, and which direction your indicator is going to go.
The last one for me, Empanada, is gonna be BKNG, Bookings Holdings.
BKMG. With a B?
Yeah, it's BKNG.
There we go. Booking. Oh yeah, we talk about this. We were talking about this, and I don't know where you mentioned it. Well, look, this is holding the 50 nicely, but the 20 crossed over before. It means that on probably on the 4 hour, yeah, we see we have this huge drop. Now you need to see the 20 is holding on the 200, and now you see the 20 needs to go higher and higher here. So we need to see the TTM squeeze again, squeeze up to have this thing try to reverse and keep going up. It's looking nice, but it's not looking strong enough to keep going. So I need to see more price action holding my 50 to keep going up. Very nice. Meta? No, I haven't done Meta. This is Meta. You see, I got my channel here in Meta. Then I have another resistance here in Meta.
Meta's been having a hard time
It
lately.
broke down, and then, well, look, it's up, it's finding, what do we see here? When we see Meta in the 4 hours, where are we finding rejection? Check this out. If we go from here, make it visually easy for you guys. You see, rejection, rejection, and support, kind of look above, support, look above, rejection. So this was rejection. We kind of tried to break it up, couldn't. Then we broke it up, stay above, and then went back very, very low and looking to see if we're gonna hold it again or not. So it's not a bad price action, but right now I like, for example, someone was asking me, I think you, Norman, like, you don't take calls like on top, or you don't take puts at the bottom. What happened if we have the price action tomorrow on Meta here? What do you expect to do here? Well, the idea is I need to see if we're gonna hold, and I have the 20 crossing above everything. So we having a strong reversal here on the 20. I want to see if the price action is going to hold above the 20 daily SMA and my 510.6. If it holds here, I might see a reversal, and I can find calls to see if we go back to 540. And this will be a great 30 points trade. And Meta pays incredibly well. It's pretty fast. And
The way
pays.
I'll play Meta here, bro, I think you showed me about the Bollinger Bands that it's good to buy calls on top of the red line, the bottom one, the last Bollinger Band you have.
Yeah, hold on. If what I'm trying to say is, look where the price action is happening on the range. So one of the problems that we have between using the Bollinger Bands and the price action is that you need to see where your Bollinger Band or your dynamic indicator is telling you to buy. Are you gonna buy puts right here? I don't know, unless we break below the 20 daily and we break below 510, right? We need to see a break and retest at this level to make sure that I'm going down. If I go to my Bollinger Bands, you see what my Bollinger Bands are telling me? Are telling me so far here that, but here is a buy, but they're still going down. So am I gonna buy here blindly because this is telling me that, we have volume going up? I don't know, because I don't like the resistance here. So
Wouldn't Meta be the same thing kind of as Adobe, kind of like what they have a similar business but kind of different?
Well, not necessarily, but what I want to sort of show is, see how this is sort of going flat and away from the Bollinger Band. Even as the Bollinger Band is telling me that this is an entry, I don't know if I'm comfortable grabbing the here, because I have this price action, which is a rejection right on top. And if I see the blue line, which is my marker line on my MACD, telling me that if it crosses on top, it means that this thing should be reversing. So if I can wait a little and see if we reverse, and I can grab calls right here, or I'm gonna wait a little and see a hold of the 523, because if it would have been on the 510, I feel more comfortable that we are down here. But if we are right here and I have these rejections, I gotta pay attention to this, and I gotta be careful, because I might just grab calls and then reject right here and then go back down to this level. So I rather, me personally, and here's where you need to play around with your levels and your indicators.
And
Because
Meta does move fast too, so
yeah, but what I'm saying is that you cannot just go blindly and say, okay, this is telling me to go up because it's touching the lower band. Let me just grab it. No, you need to make, let me see what's happening. I'm right below here. I can just wait a little more and see that I'm holding 523.9. And from here, I can still have more space to go up. But those are the sort of the like split second decisions that you need to make when the price action is moving like this. So what are the expectations for tomorrow for Meta? Either it goes around here on the pre-market, and if it's around here and it's bouncing and holding, it will be a nice entry for calls. If it's above 523.89, what's going to happen with Meta? Well, I will think about grabbing calls to try to see if I find any of these levels on top. But if I'm below 523.9 and just touching around this area, I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable grabbing calls, because if it's showing some rejection out of this point that we already find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times rejection at that point, I don't know if I want to be the first one jumping in and saying that this is just going to grab calls and it's going to go to new all-time highs. You see what I mean? So here's when we need to be careful.
so you look at like your TTM squeeze, the volume, see if there's big orders coming in for calls, right?
Correct. And then you have to see your volume. What's my volume doing? Like saying, is my volume telling me that I have, you see here, my volume is on the sell side, and the current bar is just 3 mil. So
I remember when Meta had a nice run, bro. Those contracts, I think Flips called them a few weeks ago. It went from like, I think like 300, he called them, to like $1,000 or $2,000 they ran.
Meta, the problem with Meta is that the contracts are expensive, but when they're expensive, they pay you pretty well, pretty fast. They will go from like 300 to 500 in 10 minutes. So Apple, at contrary, it's you can grab 10 calls and it's gonna pay you every 10 minutes or something like that. It's pretty slow, but that's when you need to make decisions. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. I don't want it to do the just traditional classic draw a wedge and draw a line. It's how can you use visually some patterns to help you out to trade while we are trading. Like what happened to Apple today, you see? Today, what happened on Apple in the 5 minutes today? Well, I knew that this was a level that either we resisted on top, we supported and jumped back to this price, or if we broke down, we could have just go all the way down here, and here it was under resistance. Why? A support, because we supported there before, and we supported a little bit higher. So between this level, I needed to be careful. And what happened? Look at the exact price action from here to here. This is Thursday rejection. What happened today? The exact same price. It bounced up, and then we have this nice recovery, and then we have a break, retest, and again up. And what's happening to like after market? It went down. Look at this candle all the way here, and what's happening? Recovering pretty strong. So I would love to see Apple opening on top of 226 tomorrow, or it's gonna be around this area here.
Empanada, you see Google? It was the only mega cap holding all its brothers and its back. They wouldn't give up, bro.
Because it's in a range. Price action is very boring because it's in a range. Look at that. 1 hour. Look what's happening with Google. It's holding, but it just side, not moving. It's just dancing with the 20 daily right there. 20, 20, 20. So yeah, this is nice. If we're looking to, we need a break. We need to do a break somewhere up or down. And tomorrow we need to see where the price action is going to go. And from here, you make a decision. Are we going here or are we going down here? And that's how you use the trend lines. That's what you need to be able to visualize. Doesn't matter if it's, it doesn't need to be a sag, doesn't need to be yellow. You can do but just help your eyes and your charting with what you feel more comfortable with. Normally, I will go to where I can where I to draw a trend line where I see the most points of touch with the price action. So if I see several price action points trying to touch, I will, if I remember, you can draw a line with just 2 points. So whenever you see 2 points that you see that it's repeating itself a little bit longer, you draw your line and then you see what's most convenient. And sometimes from here to here, it's not very accurate because it could be touching that week or this week. You can choose. But this is just a visual reference. That's what it's going to be. I hope this was helpful, guys. Thank you for the time. I don't want to take too much out of your time. 9:15. If you have any questions, as usual, just let me know. DM me if you have one. If you're trading during the day and you're having a hard time watching a level or anything, just DM me and we can go through the chart and see what's happening. And
Hey, thanks, Empanada.
yeah, thank you guys for the company as usual on a Monday night, and hope to see you tomorrow morning. Have a great night, guys.